All right, so today's piece is by Peter Ablinger. It's called Instrument and Voice, I believe. It's a text score written in 2013. Uh, any instrument that is able to produce different pitches, durations, and dynamics. And then the voice has to be a strong speaking voice, but not loud and never changing. Pause between elements, words or tones, 2 seconds or a bit more, but always similar. Both performers facing towards the audience on stage, not too close to each other. And then, yeah, uh, at any given moment, one of the three parameters may change, the other two staying the same. The parameters being, of course, pitches, duration, and dynamics. So there's sort of like five movements that make up the piece. So the first one's called higher and slash lower. So 6 times the instrument plays one tone, the voice says higher or lower, and then the instrument plays accordingly. Then 6 times after the last tone of the previous section, the instrument plays another tone that is either higher or lower, and the voice responds. So it's like it's not obvious to the audience, but they're playing this game and they switch roles halfway between. And then the subsequent movements are just like that. It's like, uh, but in the second movement, they can play with higher and lower, and then shorter and longer, right? And then you add the softer and louder element, then you remove the higher or lower element, then you remove the shorter or longer element, and then it's over. So you can kind of see the concept is really procedural. And there's this element of like play in a very strict manner, right? Um, so yeah, I think there's sort of some taste that goes into performing it, but the score itself is very open, right? When I first discovered this piece, I was a little bit surprised it was a text score. I wasn't sure, like I just assumed it was something that was notated. Um, so it was pretty pleasing discovering it on Ablinger's website. I then downloaded it, obviously, because it was free. I can't remember what the first piece of his was that I discovered. But he does all kinds of different things. So here's the recording where I first discovered it. This one, which actually disobeys one of the rules. They are sitting very close together, and they're not both facing the audience because it's for organ in this version. So actually, they break two of the rules that are in the score. Um, but it's an interesting recording. It's well recorded. It was back in the pandemic when this was recorded, so I think I discovered it around the pandemic as well. As for the composer, Peter Ablinger, he's an Austrian composer, born in 1959. Died last year. I did not realize that. Um, Settled in Berlin in 1982. Uh, he has a set of works all based around various aspects of white noise. And he taught internationally, including University of Performing Arts Graz and the University of Huddersfield in the UK. So I guess that white noise project is 36 pieces in various media. That's one of his more extensive works. But if you go on his website, you can find a lot of interesting stuff. So he has his works by series and then by instrumentation as well, also by theme, and then reverse chronological. So if you look at his series, he has a series called Instruments and. which is sort of where this piece comes from. And then he has a cycle of 62 pieces for piano and tape, which combines, I guess, recorded voices of historical figures and piano playing. So I guess public domain stuff, quoting different people. What else is interesting here? He has a series of pieces called Instruments and Noise, right? So, for example, 6 minute piece called Violin and Noise, a um, piece called Organ and World Receiver, like FM radio receiver, accordion and noise, organ and noise, snare drum and FM noise. Uh, yeah, so all these pieces that explore white noise with instruments. And then if you look at his variable instrumentation list, it's actually quite extensive here. So it's very worthwhile covering him in our variable instrumentation kind of series here. But yeah, experimental composer. We don't cover a lot of composers on the channel that are so purely experimental who write all kinds of things, but this is one of them. So don't feel like this particular piece is representative of his entire work. He has lots of different pieces with different concepts behind them. This is just one of those, one of the many. So, uh, link to this recording is in the video description. I encourage you to listen to it today. It's only 6 minutes, and now you know what the score looks like. Okay, so I thought this was an interesting performance of the piece. It's very mechanical and straightforward. Um, the choice of organ was interesting because it's well suited to like changing, like it can play as long as you want or as short as you want, kind of thing. So that part is very, um, very variable. The dynamics are a little bit less so. It does take time to change the dynamics. Like you have to pull out a stop or push in a stop. And I imagine you have to be creative on the fly to kind of change dynamics if you're really loud already or really soft already. Like you have to leave room. So that was kind of an interesting aspect of the performance. There's like, yeah, it revealed things about the instrument that limit how you play and can play. So really interesting little exercise for improvisers, I think.